With the rise of competitive games like Valorant, League of Legends, Dota, and CSGO, there are a lot more people getting into gaming. While these are all great titles, that's not to say that they don't have their fair share of problems. Unfortunately, a big issue is not one that's made by the devs, but by the community themselves. Hi guys, this is Eggwick, and today we're talking about gaming's unsolved problem and how to fix it. If you like this vid, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free and you can always unsubscribe at any time. Enjoy!
Also, he'll be live on Twitch almost every day at 8 PM GMT plus 8, and we hope to see you there.
For the longest time, competitive online games have had the stigma of being overly hostile and toxic communities. It comes with the territory of being a team-based game focused around a single objective: winning. Anytime you group a bunch of random players and expect them to work together, you're bound to run into some problems. From hurling insults to throwing games because of it, it feels like every match is a game of chance on whether or not you get decent people or absolute baby ragers. It's the latter experience that drives people away from games. But what if I told you that we can fix that? It seems impossible given the situation, but I think we have a chance. The main problem is that players don't understand or know how to communicate properly. Not in terms of callouts and strategy, but with how they go about delivering their intent and message. Even top-level players in Valorant have been calling this out, with a tweet from Ethan addressing this issue. That said, even if hypothetically you are always 100% correct about something, there is still a right and wrong way to convey it to avoid agitating others and making their experiences worse. Now, this assumes that players want a non-toxic game, which isn't always the case. In a lot of situations, players tend to say things like, "You should have done this," or "You're not playing this the right way." Okay, that's not always going to be the case, but the point is that a lot of statements that players make towards others are coming from their point of view on how to play the game. More importantly, they're presented like facts. "You should have done this" is fine to say when both players agree on that statement, but that doesn't happen all the time. Players will have different views on how the game should be played, and this is what creates the problem. The player being told off will think to themselves, "Why is this person telling me how to play?" Or even worse, if the player is lower ranked, they'd think, "Why is he dictating my play when he's worse than me?" I find that this type of communication is common and what causes a lot of fights because of the difference in opinion and how entitled it can come off. If that's the case, then how do we solve this? While treat others the way you want to be treated is an easy thing to say, it's not actionable and specific, which means that it won't stick in the long run. In order for our behavior to change, we need to make it as simple as possible to execute. My rule of thumb is to suggest instead of dictate, and sometimes even compliment the person a little bit. For example, I'd say, "Hey X, I get what you were trying to do, but I think it might be better if we did blank instead." You can remove the first part, as sometimes there's not enough time to communicate all that, but this already sounds so much better than the usual statements that players make, and trust me, it makes a big difference, especially towards newer players. Also, try not to dwell on past mistakes and just give tips on how to do better in the future. It goes a long way, not only in being friendly, but by giving your team a better chance of winning and avoiding tilt. And, it doesn't cost anything. Now, obviously this doesn't cover everything. There will always be people who int and troll for the fun of it, and if YouTube comments have told me anything, it's that a lot of people refuse to believe that they can be wrong, and that they have an allergic reaction to decent conversations without insults. Sometimes we're stuck babysitting kids in the lobby instead of focusing on the game because of it. But I do hope that this video changes things, even if it only impacts a few people. Unrelated, but I do think that the pandemic is making things a lot harder for many, and with online games acting as an escape, it doesn't hurt to be nicer to each other. Anyway, that's it for now. I know a lot of people have been asking for these commentary type videos, so I decided to get this one out ASAP. The truth is that these types of vids take way longer than you think between topic selection and writing and recording and editing. so I try to fill the gap in content with highlights and stuff. But yeah, that's just a short update from me. If you guys have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them down below. Thank you so much for 90k subscribers. This is Eggwick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.